Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to a brand new video. And before we get started, thank you so much for 100 subscribers. That means a lot. So thank you, thank you. Um, yeah, it means a lot. So thanks for subscribing to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be going over how the Jays can complete their historic offseason and basically be an AL East favorite or contender for it. So yeah, and before we get into the video, we have hit 100 subscribers. But if you guys are new to this channel and you're a Blue Jay fan or a baseball fan or whatever, we talk a whole bunch of baseball teams, mainly the Blue Jays right now, but we're going to be going over the Rockies eventually, very, very, very soon. So if you guys are brand new here, be sure to subscribe. It means a lot. Let's try and get to 150 by the end of the month, potentially. So yeah, also going to make a video on the Fernando Tatis Jr. stuff as well. So there we are. Let's go over how the Jays can complete their historic offseason. I have 3 moves that they need to make, or that they can make to complete quite the historic offseason. The very first thing is sign Jake Odorizzi. Now, that's not the favorite move or the very popular move throughout basically Toronto and Canada for the Blue Jays. Everyone wants Walker or Paxton. But I don't think Paxton happens, especially after the Steven Matz trade. You know, you don't want 3 lefties on a team in the East. It doesn't go over super well. So that is a little bit of a concern if they do get Paxton. I have the feeling that they don't want Taijuan Walker back, which is kind of insane to say, considering he was their second best pitcher throughout the second half of the season. I have a weird feeling that he doesn't come back, which sucks. I think Jake Odorizzi is probably the best option there for some reason. I don't know what it is. He's got the playoff experience. That's definitely a huge factor. Paxton, yes, he has the playoff experience, but he has the health concerns. Walker doesn't really have the playoff experiences that Odorizzi or Paxton bring. Yes, it'd be great to have Walker back on the team. But with Odorizzi's knowledge of the game, knowledge of pitching the postseason, he can help guys like Nate Pearson, Simeon Woods Richardson when he comes up in July or August. He can help those young guys get through the playoffs. Hey, this is what you do. And he's a solid 2 or 3 option in that rotation. He used to play for the Rays, so he has familiarity with the American League East. I think that's the right word. But yeah, he used to play for the Rays, so he knows the American League East fairly well. And the Jays were linked to him way back in the last offseason and were considered potential favorites to sign him before he went to the Twins for that 1-year deal. I think this is the year the Jays just got to put a 3-year deal on him. I don't know what the money range would be like for him. I'd probably say like 12, maybe 13 million a year for him for 3 years. Just a great guy. His contract ends when Ryu's contract ends, so you have no obligations after that. You can start extending Pearson, Woods Richardson, Pardinio's up, that'd be great type stuff. So I think, honestly, signing Jake Odorizzi is a great move to have as your 2 or 3 starting pitcher. The next one is actually a trade with the team that seems to be dismantling for a weird reason. Well, I mean, not a weird reason. Obviously, they need to dismantle. And that's the Rockies. And after the Arenado trade and the potential return that everyone's saying they got, they screwed themselves so much. And they're probably going to want a top prospect for this player, but they're going to have to take something else. So I have trading for Herman Marquez from the Colorado Rockies. He's a great pitcher. He pitches fairly well in Coors Field, let alone on the road. So get him out of Coors Field, and he potential ace stuff. Like, he's very good. I'm super high on Herman Marquez. Definitely a route the Jays have to start taking. They need to start kicking tires there. And I think, you're going to have to give them something back. So say they want an Adam Kloffenstein, a higher-end pitching prospect. I think the way to get it done is you didn't get a top-end prospect for Arenado. You want a top-end prospect for Marquez. Here's Tanner Roark. Take him. Even if you take back maybe $4 million of his $6 million, or wait, is he? Oh, he's owed $12 million. So maybe $6 million of the $12 million that he's owed. They still take $6 million. Then they get their top higher end pitching prospect, and I also included Patrick Murphy that way you can have a Ryu, Marquez, Odorizzi, Pearson, Ray with Steven Matz in long relief and potential number 5, like 5 or 6 starter, depends on what they do. And Marquez is under control for 3 more years. And he, like I said, he has the ace potential. He's fairly young. I think he's like 25 right now. So definitely would help. He's got an electric arm. I think that's a great move, especially to pair him with someone like Nate Pearson. He'd be like, oh, here's how I was able to cope with coming up. Because he hasn't come up, he came up not more than 2 or 3 years ago. So he's still fairly fresh and can help Nate Pearson. And I think that's a great, great move to make. So yes, Herman Marquez. Final move that they need to make. They don't have to make it, but they should make it. Sign closing pitcher Trevor Rosenthal. They just got Yates not that long ago, maybe like 2 months ago. So fairly awesome move on their half, going out and getting Trevor Rosenthal. Or Kirby Yates, sorry. And it'd be even better if they can go out and get Trevor Rosenthal. He'd have the familiarity with Kirby Yates. So that helps, the San Diego connection right there. And he's fairly gonna, it seems like he'd be the closing pitcher starting, or they can do whatever they want to do. That'd be a super pen. You got Romano, Dolis, Yates, and then Rosenthal potentially. Pretty good. And you take them away from a team that you're going to be competing against when you make the World Series, or if you make the World Series, and that's the Padres. Then they lose their closing pitcher. Brad Hand's off the market. Yates is off the market. Hendricks is off the market. That leaves them with Colome. And if they don't get Colome, they don't have a closing pitcher that I'm aware of. If they do, correct me. I will gladly be I'd gladly be corrected. But it's such a good move. And you take Odorizzi away from another competitive team within your league. And those are the moves that they can make to beat the Yankees. The Yankees rotation, if healthy, will be one of the best rotations in baseball. But there's a lot of health concerns around Kluber, Jameson Taillon, Jordan Montgomery, Luis Severino if he comes back, Domingo Germán if he's even still on that team. I don't even know. So there's a lot of question marks health-wise after Garrett Cole. If they're healthy, they're by far the best team in the American League, I'd probably say. But a couple injuries to that rotation, say they're out for, starting pitchers are usually out for a month. Say they're out for a month. That month could be enough, especially if it's late in the season, that if the Jays can keep their rotation healthy and they can get an Odorizzi and a Marquez, they could be this could be the Yankees and this could be the Blue Jays, and in that month it could go like this and propel them to the top of the division and win the division. So, there's a lot of moves that the Jays can make. They think they're fairly close on budget, so shipping off Tanner Roark definitely helps. I don't want them to trade Randall Grichuk, which is kind of weird to say. I really value his defense over Hernandez. His defense sucks. Hernandez to me is a DH. And I'd also like to keep Tellez. The Simeon signing just kind of creates a whole lot of problems, but it's fine. So that would mean if the Jays completed this maneuver, or moves, their rotation would probably go Hyun-Jin Ryu, Herman Marquez, Jake Odorizzi. I'd put Robbie Ray, and then Nate Pearson, and then in long relief, Steven Matz and Tyler Chatwood, and then whatever you got to sprinkle in the middle relief, and then you got Romano, Dolis, Yates, and Rosenthal, and all 4 of those guys can be closers. So say Rosenthal needs a day off, you can throw Yates in, you can throw Romano, and you can throw Dolis in. It's a really good maneuver, and it propels them to one of the best bullpens in the American League, and one of the best teams in the American League. Biggio will probably bat 8th, or even 9th, which is insane to say because he was the leadoff hitter last year, but he's a high on-base percentage guy. He walks a lot. He gets on base. He hits high. Hit for a better average last season. And if you can get him on base, if he's the guy who gets on base, he gets on base 3 out of 10 times, I think it is. Like, he's good. He's insane. He has the best eye on the team. He has one of the best eyes in the league. He is one of the most underrated players on the Jays team. And if he bats ninth, you have Jansen as eighth, Biggio can flip the lineup over to the leadoff hitter, who is George Springer, and if Biggio's on base. Springer does stuff. He's such a good... It's just... I'm rambling now at this point, but... Yeah, I'll go over what I think closer to the season, like I'm like halfway through spring training, closer to opening day. I'll go over what my opening day roster prediction for the Blue Jays will be. So that's my ideal end to the offseason is to sign Jake Odorizzi, go to the Rockies, get Herman Marquez, and then sign Trevor Rosenthal. And Ross Atkins, you can sit back, you can relax, you can go like this, you can go, look at the team I just created. They hated me 2 years ago, and now they love me. Anyone who says they still don't like him, like, because they traded for Steven Matz, they gave up nothing. Calm the fudge down. So yeah, Jays, if Ross Atkins is listening, go get Jake Odorizzi, Herman Marquez, and Trevor Rosenthal. So yeah, guys, I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out. Goodbye. Subscribe. You guys are brand new to the channel. And see you later.